Match day 35 is upon us. Who's making the playoffs? Who's not? There's 3 spots in the East, 8 spots in the West still up for grabs. For the East, tell me your 3 teams that are going to make the playoffs in those last 3 spots. But let's jump into our games. And to start it off, it's going to be the match that we live stream for this weekend. It is Columbus Crew versus Philadelphia Union. Currently, the Crew are 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses in their last 5 matches, where Philadelphia Union are 1 win and 4 draws in their last 5 matches on a 5-match unbeaten streak. The last time that these 2 teams played, they played at Subaru Park, and Philadelphia won that match 4-1 over the Crew back in February. We have 2 different teams now from what it was back then. Columbus, pretty good team. They're on a good run. I think they're going to be a hard team to deal with in the playoffs. It's 3 against 4 there in the East. I think with them being at Lower.com Field, Columbus Crew win this match 2-1 over Philadelphia Union. So that leads us into Inter Miami versus NYCFC. This one was a hard one for me to pick because I went back and forth. Is Messi playing? Is he not playing? He's got to play at this point, right? I mean, they really need him to make the playoffs. But currently, Inter Miami, 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses in their last 5 matches, where NYCFC, 3 wins and 2 draws in their last 5 matches. NYCFC are just in that 9th spot, and of course we know Inter Miami is trying to fight to get into the playoffs. They are currently in that 14th position there in the East. The last time that these 2 teams played was back in March, and NYCFC won that match 1-0, but they were in New York. I think, though, if Messi plays, they win this match. Inter Miami wins 2-0 over NYCFC. So next up, we have New England Revs versus Charlotte FC. Currently, the Revs are 1 win, 3 draws, and a loss in their last 5 matches, where Charlotte are 4 draws and a loss in their last 5 matches. Charlotte really needs something. I thought that they were going to make a push here late because they are currently in 13th, and I thought they were going to make a push to make the playoffs. Currently, the Revs are in 6th there in the East. They have clinched their spot in the playoffs. I thought that this was going to be a trap game, and I thought that maybe Charlotte would win this match over the Revs because, again, the Revs have already clinched a spot, so are they going to take it just serious? But they could also try to get into the 4th position to get a home match. So I think, though, because they are, at New England, I think that the Revs win this match 1-0 over Charlotte. Now, you might take this by surprise, but this is actually a match that I am excited for, and it's 2 teams that aren't in the playoffs currently. That is the New York Red Bulls versus Chicago Fire. Currently 11 against 12. Both of them still have a shot to get in the playoffs. And I think one of the teams do get in the playoffs out of these 2 teams. But currently the Red Bulls are 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses in their last 5 matches, where Chicago Fire are 2 draws and 3 losses in their last 5 matches. These 2 teams played back in April, but it was at Soldier Field, and it was a 1-1 draw there in Chicago. We're not getting a draw here. I think we're going to see goals galore. I think we're going to see 5 goals here. But I think the Red Bulls come out on top 3-2 over Chicago Fire there at Red Bull Arena. So next up, we have Orlando City versus CF Montreal. Currently, Orlando are 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in their last 5 matches, where CF Montreal are 2 draws and 3 losses in their last 5 matches. Currently, CF Montreal are 8th, Orlando are 2nd there in the East, and there has been a trend in this match, and that is a 2-0 victory. The last 2 times Montreal have won 2-0, which that was in Montreal. But you go back to 2022, Orlando won 2-0 at home, and then before that, 2-0 away at Montreal. Now there was a 4-1 victory for Montreal there in the middle of all that, but I think that trend continues. I think that Montreal are a good side. They're trying to stay in the playoffs, but I don't think that they're going to beat Orlando. Orlando wants to secure they want to secure that home playoff match, and that you've got to win because that, even the 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, and then even 3, those teams are all fighting for a home field match there in, I guess, the first round. Is that what they're calling it? But I think Orlando get the job done, and I think that they stay with that trend and they beat Montreal 2-0 there at Explorer Stadium. So now we have number 15 against number 1 there in the East. We have Toronto versus FC Cincinnati. Currently, Toronto are 1 win, 4 losses in their last 5. Cincinnati, 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. Here's another one where I thought maybe this could be a trap game. And I don't know why we use the word trap, but yes, not even a trap game, really. I think that maybe Cincinnati just might not try as hard because they've already clinched that first spot and they're just so far away that they're not going to try. And then Toronto might show up and try a little bit just to, I don't know, get a couple wins under their belt. But I don't think that happens. I think, though, it does end in a draw, and I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw there at BMO Stadium. So now we have the showdown in Texas. We have Houston Dynamo versus FC Dallas. Currently, Houston are 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in their last 5 matches, where FC Dallas are 1 win and 4 draws in their last 5 matches. So unbeaten there in their last 5 matches, but not a pretty unbeaten. With all those draws, it's just Dallas is not looking very good this year. It is 4 against 9 there in the West. Dallas really needs a win here, but I don't think it happens. I think Houston's going to try to get in and stay in that, position where they get a home field match there in the playoffs, and they haven't even clinched yet. That's the crazy thing about the West. Only one team has clinched the playoffs. So I think that Houston win this at home 3-1 over FC Dallas. That leads us into Minnesota United versus San Jose Earthquakes. Currently, Minnesota are 2 draws and 3 losses in their last 5 matches, where the Earthquakes are 1 win, 3 draws, and a loss in their last 5 matches. Minnesota are 11th. San Jose are 8th there in the West. Again, all these teams could make it. They're so close in points. I still want Earthquakes. I know we say this pretty much every video. I want the Earthquakes to make the playoffs, but I don't think they win here. I think that Minnesota win this match at home 1-0 over the Earthquakes. So next up, we have Nashville SC versus Seattle Sounders. Currently, Nashville are 1 win, 3 draws, and a loss in their last 5 matches, where the Sounders are 2 wins and 3 draws in their last 5 matches. So currently on a 5-match unbeaten streak, plus a new logo. Tell me what you think about their logo in the comments below. I think it's pretty cool. Don't think that they needed a rebrand, but it actually looks good and it's not crappy like some of the other ones since they have rebranded. But that's besides the fact, another conversation. But these two teams, the last time they played, it was in Nashville, and Nashville won that match 1-0. Again, both teams are fighting for a playoff spot. Nashville are currently 7th in the East. Sounders are 3rd in the West. But again, the West is still wide open. I think if Nashville wins this match, they would clinch the playoffs, but I don't think that they do. I think Seattle comes to not really the East Coast. I guess you would still call Nashville the East Coast, but they come to the East Coast and they get a draw. They walk away with a point, and it's going to end up in a 2-2 draw there at Geodis Park. So there in the Midwest, we have St. Louis City versus Sporting Kansas City. Currently, St. Louis are 1 win, 3 draws, and a loss in their last 5 matches, where Sporting Kansas City are 3 wins and 2 losses in their last 5 matches. The last time that these two teams played, Sporting Kansas City won this match 2-1. But the last time that they played in St. Louis won 4-0 over Sporting Kansas City back in May. That was a different Sporting Kansas City team. That was a team that was lost and had no idea what they were doing pretty much. I don't think that they can win there at St. Louis. St. Louis are the only West team that has clinched the playoffs, but I think that they want to stay up there in that number 1 spot. And Sporting, they're fighting to get in, but I think that we're going to see a lot of goals in this match also. I think we see 5, and I think that St. Louis win this match 3-2 over Sporting Kansas City. Next up, we have Colorado Rapids versus Austin FC. Currently, Colorado, 1 win, a draw, and 3 losses in their last 5 matches, where Austin are 3 draws and 2 losses in their last 5 matches. The last 2 times that these teams have played, they have drawn 1-1, both times being in Austin. It's currently 12 against 14 there in the West. I don't know if either one of these teams really have a shot. I guess if things, for Austin, if things line up right. Colorado, they're done for. They're eliminated from the playoffs, I believe. And I think that because of that, or Colorado just doesn't really care, maybe, I don't know. I know that there's a lot going on with the ownership and everything there in Colorado. So I think that Austin go on the road here and get the win 2-1 over Colorado. Our second to last match on Saturday is LA Galaxy versus Portland Timbers. Currently, the Galaxy are 1 win, 3 draws, and a loss in their last 5 matches, where Portland Timbers are 4 wins and a draw in their last 5 matches. This is 7 against 13 there in the West. Both teams are fighting. We're again back to the fighting for the playoff spot. The last time that these two teams played was back in March, and it was a 0-0 draw there at Providence Park. I don't think it ends up 0-0 in this match. I actually think we see 6 goals because of the way these two teams have been playing recently. But I think it's going to end in a 3-3 draw there in Carson. For the last match that is on Saturday, we have Vancouver Whitecaps versus DC United. Currently, the Whitecaps are 1 win, 2 draws, and 2 losses in their last 5 matches. DC United, 1 win, 3 draws, and a loss in their last 5 matches. This was one of those ones that was pretty much a coin flip for me. I think that a team will win in this match. I don't think that it will be a draw. And the last time that these two teams played each other was back in 2019, so it's been a while. Both teams, again, one's trying to stay in the playoffs, one's trying to get into a playoff spot. And for some reason, I don't know why, my gut is telling me, this is a gut prediction on this one, I think that DC United go on the road here and win 2-1 against the Whitecaps. For the final match of match day 35, we have LAFC versus Real Salt Lake. This game is on Sunday. LAFC currently are 1 win, 2 draws, and 2 losses in their last 5 matches, where Real Salt Lake are 2 wins and 3 losses in their last 5 matches. The last time that they both played at BMO Field, BMO Stadium, LAFC won this match 4-0 against Real Salt Lake. I don't think that's going to happen here. Both are still trying to make the playoffs, try to clinch the playoffs. LA are currently 2nd, where Real Salt Lake are 5th there in the West. I think LAFC win at home. I know that we've seen Real Salt Lake play very, very well on the road there for a long span, but that has not been the case recently. And I think LAFC win this match 2-1 over Real Salt Lake. So that is it for the video for match day 35. Please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you like the content, and we will see you for the Columbus Crew versus Philadelphia Union watch along there on Saturday.